Silver Surfer, issue number 52. This crossover event is my favorite crossover that has happened to date since we started this Infinity Gauntlet saga coverage.
You know what I think would be kind of funny is if we could edit in scenes of you saying, "This is my favorite issue so far," because I feel like I've heard you say that a few times, and that's a good thing.
We're going up. We're going up because this issue is integral to the story. This is Drax issue. If you didn't read Silver Surfer issue number 52, Drax might as well not even be in the Infinity Gauntlet saga.
He hasn't done a whole lot in the main series, Infinity Gauntlet. He's just kind of been hanging around in the background.
But he's been in this whole saga so much.
Yes, we've been talking about Drax for almost a whole year.
Hit that like, hit that subscribe button. Before we move on to Silver Surfer issue number 52, Ron Lim, Ron Mars, goodness, let's hit the comment section of the last video, Infinity Gauntlet number 3, where we asked the audience a fun little question.
We were wondering where all the other supervillains were. The world's ending. Stuff's just happening everywhere. Dr. Doom has kind of taken it upon himself to help out, but no other supervillains are kind of anywhere.
What are they doing? We want to know.
What are they doing? We asked, and you delivered. Roger Heller says, I mean, if the world is crumbling around them, some of them could have the same mentality of Dr. Doom. If there's no world to conquer for right now, I'll save it. And then when things have cooled down, I can go back to my evil ways. Maybe yet reap the spoils of war for him or herself.
Interesting. I like that idea. I mean, I haven't read all the crossover events, so maybe there are other villains that pop up in the story, but I don't think there are. It would be super interesting to see like a side quest of what Doc Ock is doing in this whole thing.
Yeah, any of them.
Yeah, any that survived the snap.
That's a good point. We don't even know like who survived.
Yeah, there's some like fun little things to ponder, but we can't. We don't have enough time. We have to dive into Silver Surfer issue number 52 because this issue starts kind of interestingly. Like this is post first issue, but kind of picks up a little bit after.
It's hard to exactly pinpoint this. The first scene of this issue is kind of confusing in the first place. It's like a first person view of Silver Surfer as he's crashing into Doctor Strange's house.
This issue came out before issue number 2 of Infinity Gauntlet.
When it was being released, yes.
So technically, this could have been a video that we put out before issue number 3, but this leads into issue number 3. Yes.
Yes, that's the confusing part.
It's okay. We're going to go through it because Silver Surfer crash lands through Doctor Strange's apartment. And we see something here that I only pondered. I wondered. Because remember, Silver Surfer, after issue number 50, crash lands into Doctor Strange's place.
Right.
And he is zonked. He's out. He's depressed and he is unconscious. Doctor Strange has to go into his mind to figure out and pull him out.
Correct.
Okay?
I remember that.
And I thought in this moment, like, what was Silver Surfer seeing? Like, we know that he's depressed. We know he's got a lot of weight on his shoulders and he's like having a really hard time here. So much so that they had to devote an entire issue to having Doctor Strange give him a pep talk.
Right.
But I want to know what happened. And boom, we get it here.
So Silver Surfer is seeing a vision. He sees Thanos kind of sitting on top of a pile of corpses, looking all evil like he does. But this is not the first time we've seen Silver Surfer have a vision.
Of the future.
Yeah.
Okay, so Jim Starlin couldn't even tell me this information.
You asked him that directly.
At New York City Comic Con, I asked him, how did Silver Surfer experience Thanos' resurrection? How did Thanos, like the universe, show this to him while he slept?
Right, way back in issue 34, the very first chapter of this breakdown series.
Even Demigod's dream.
Yes.
All right, so Silver Surfer dreams of this. How did this happen? Jim Starlin can't even remember. He blamed it on drugs and alcohol. But here, issue number 52, not even written by Jim. Silver Surfer is having a vision of the future. He's seeing Thanos sitting on his throne on top of the dead bodies. This is what put him unconscious. If you didn't read this, this whole scene is basically useless to you. Why did this even happen? Why was there even time spent on Silver Surfer being unconscious? It's for this moment, Silver Surfer issue number 52.
Really makes you think. I don't know. Well, what is the deal with the visions?
I don't know.
I don't understand.
But I like that we're finding out more and more as we proceed. But this issue isn't about Silver Surfer.
You might be confused, but it's called Silver Surfer.
We actually see this happen, and then we transition to what Drax and Firelord and Eros are doing.
Right.
And Eros is already disappeared at this point. What's going on, Ryan?
So we go to Drax and Firelord on Titan. They've been kind of hanging out there for a while. And Mentor is actually there, since this stuff is all, as of right now, as of this early portion of the issue, this is taking place alongside issue 1 of Infinity Gauntlet. Before the snap, we see the snap from their perspective, and Mentor disappears, drops his glass.
That's right. In this moment, I get this like reminder of how short of a time frame all of these events are taking place. This is a very short saga that happens over the course of a number of issues.
But it's only been a couple of hours.
That's right.
Since Silver Surfer crashed through the roof of Doctor Strange's house.
Drax is pissed because he doesn't understand what's happening.
That's kind of Drax's game. He doesn't understand what's happening any time, really.
He's ill. And he thinks that Firelord had to do with this old man disappearing.
Someone that was nice to him, someone that Drax liked. He's gone. But then a few minutes later, they're talking to Eros. They're looking up stuff on their little computer, and then Eros disappears as well. That happens in issue 2 of Infinity Gauntlet.
That's right. So now Drax is like, Firelord's doing this.
That's his conclusion. He decides that it's his friend who's making everybody disappear.
We've seen this happen in the past. He doesn't understand what's happening. He's been resurrected too many times. His mind isn't where it should be. And we see in this issue him improve. We see him change. And then as he gets, by the end of this, incorporated into the Infinity Gauntlet saga, the main event, you don't know of his mental stability until this issue. So this is key Drax information. Yeah. This is a very integral part to Drax in the Marvel Universe.
So while they're hanging out on Titan, they're starting to argue. This little boy shows up, and
that's really funny.
I guess both his parents disappeared.
He's like, as they're fighting, he's like, guys, have you seen my mommy and daddy?
Where's my mommy? I shouldn't be laughing.
It's kind of funny.
It's kind of funny.
It's funny because he's looking at Drax, who is just like, this is the last guy you want to be asking where your parents are. Like, you're in the shit. If Drax is the person you're like, if like you're at the grocery store and you get lost as a kid.
You don't go up to that guy. That's the guy you walk away from.
Yeah, his purple
the guy
looking
who's
dude.
going to kidnap you and sell you for ransom or something.
Something not good.
Yeah.
But it's the kid that pushes them to try to figure out what happened.
Yes.
And what ends up happening is what I think is my favorite moment in the saga so far, that they go into the control room.
Yes.
And you have Firelord, and he's like, do you know how to use the computer?
We need to look back at the files. We need to get into the computer. Do you know how to use the computer? Drax just goes like, nuh-uh, only TV.
Yes. Drax knows only TV, and he only knows I Love Lucy and Alf.
That's all you need, though.
That's all you need.
Yeah.
But they are able to get this computer to show them some information, and this is just magnificent. You get a play-by-play of a telescope that's recording events happening on the moon. And if you recall, in issue number 50 of Silver Surfer, that's where Silver Surfer meets Gollum, the Thanos...
Like a clone?
The doppelganger.
He reanimated his previous corpse.
From Marvel, the annual.
From the first time Thanos died.
Yeah, annual number 2 of Marvel Team Up.
Yes, good memory.
And this action sequence takes place on the screen, but because this is a telescope picking up video footage, there's no sound. And, by the way, this happens on the moon, so there wouldn't be sound either way.
Nerd.
But you have a couple page sequence of what is just, in my head, would be the coolest thing to see on the screen of Drax and Firelord witnessing this whole fight of Silver Surfer fighting Gollum. Scene by scene, lasers and everything, in silence.
That would be so cool.
Oh my gosh, how cool would that be to see these just... Like, that would be the only time I'd want to see like that kind of almost Batman v Superman, Transformers, just chaos, but happening on a screen. You're not seeing it, but maybe seeing some of it live, but like, imagine in silence what that would look like.
I almost don't think the Marvel movies have enough like risk in them to try something silent like that, you know?
Oh man, but
that'd be such
how
a
powerful. Oh, that would be so cool.
It's extra cool because they don't know that this isn't actually Thanos.
Yes.
They think it's the real Thanos fighting Silver Surfer, but you can kind of even tell actually when you're looking at the pictures, Thanos looks looks kind of like the Thing. Yep. Yeah, like a little rocky.
That's right. It's not Thanos.
Thanos.
No, just the doppelganger. So Drax and Firelord, they get into a fight now. Drax is straight up seeing that Thanos is alive, and he starts panicking. This right here is the moment that Drax starts healing. He starts to remember. His brain is starting to figure out that something is not right mentally. Like, he's sick. And you see a heartbreaking few panels of Drax realizing that Thanos is alive, that Thanos is wielding the gauntlet, and that Thanos is God.
It's like he has some kind of moment of clarity. At first, when I read it, I thought he was having a one-time kind of brief flash of cognizance, like of finally understanding what's happening and what the stuff that he witnessed earlier with Silver Surfer. But the sad part is Firelord does not believe him because he just saw Thanos get killed by Silver Surfer. He's like, no, Thanos is dead, bro. We're like, he's done for.
That's right.
We just saw it happen, man.
He's like, wait, what do you mean Thanos is alive? What do you mean? We just saw Silver Surfer kill him. What do you mean he has the gauntlet? What is the gauntlet? What do you mean he's God? And because he's stressing and people are gone and he's worried, you start to see panels of what Drax is seeing. As Drax gets stressed out, you actually see panels of what he's seeing. And he's straight up seeing like New Mutants Bill Sienkiewicz style covers here.
Yeah, he looks kind of like really rough and jagged. I got the impression that he was seeing, like, it looked like a kid had drawn Firelord with crayons or something scratchy and rough.
Right. Super out there, but it's because he's witnessing something different. He's having these breakdowns and they get into a fight. They get into a brawl. And Drax goes as far to lift up a piece of the ground to destroy. He's going to topple Firelord. He wants to kill him. He's freaking out. He thinks Firelord is his enemy. And in this moment, he realizes the kid is on the cement that he's about to throw down.
Please don't kill me.
Don't kill me, Drax.
Please.
I'm just want my mom and dad. And Drax.
Where's my parents? I don't know why he's got a little
Yeah.
Oliver Twist accent.
I like it. It's because of the hair.
Yes.
The hair, the little shink, you know?
Where's my mom and dad?
Where's my mommy? But Drax, in this moment, realizes he's doing something wrong and that these people are not there to get him. And he breaks down. Him in a fetal position with that just white background is beautiful. It's a beautiful moment in this series.
So at this point, they're kind of on the same page. Drax is back to normal. Well, not normal, actually. He's smarter than normal.
He's like, I have something wrong with me. Mm-hmm. He realizes that there's something wrong. He's breaking down crying. He's like, I'm ill. What is going on? But he's coming back.
He's more self-aware than he's been in a very long time. And they make the decision that they need to go to Earth. They've got to, track down Silver Surfer. They got to figure out what's going on. So they go off into space, and while they're flying, they get sucked into like a portal or a wormhole or something, and you're just like,
that panel is freaking awesome.
when like just their legs are sticking out.
It's like the black hole, like they're going through this like portal.
It's scary as hell. You're just like, oh great, like what now? What next?
How scary would that be if you're in space and you're like, and boom,
you're in Avengers headquarters.
And we end this scene here with them entering the Avengers headquarters. And it says at the very end of the page here that pick up the next issue, Infinity Gauntlet issue number 2, which comes out in 2 weeks.
Right.
But we just covered issue number 3.
And issue number 3 is when all of the different characters are being teleported into Avengers headquarters, and like the army is starting to get formed.
So this issue takes place between 1 and 3.
It covers a lot of time that we've
right.
already covered, which is why different reading orders on various websites, and they're gonna list the reading order differently.
Correct.
So you really could make a decision on your own where you want to read this issue, but in my head it works very well right here, right after issue 3. So now we're all at the same place. We're current. We know what's going on. We're ready to go forward.
I want to know from the audience, what do you think of Drax? Because after this issue, and really after covering all of these, because I don't have a whole lot of familiarity with Drax. I know him more from the Guardians of the Galaxy films and in the theatrical releases.
Of course.
And I have to say, I like this Drax better than the Batista Drax.
I would agree. He's got a lot of like depth in this than he has before, and even any of the issues we've read either.
I feel like almost Batista is just comic relief, and man, this is the wrong character to be the comic relief because he is so much more deep.
I think he can do both. He should be both. He's a really good character for comic relief, but also I think adding this layer of pathos to him kind of, it just builds. It makes him way cooler than just, the bumbling fool.
That's right. Let us know in the comment sections what you think. We do appreciate your time today. We're going through every issue of the Infinity Gauntlet saga. This is just another one in the bucket.
Right?
We have more to do.
We'll be here for a while, folks.
Hit that like, hit that subscribe button, and then you know what we have to ask you to do every single time.
You better be geeking responsibly. Or else.
Or else we're going to send Drax after you.
That's right.
Enough said. Thanks so much for watching the video. If you'd like to help support the podcast and you shop for items on eBay, like, I don't know, comic books or something, instead of eBay getting the full fee, we'll get half if you click the link below before you make your purchase. We don't get any of your info, we just get half the fee instead of eBay getting it all.